What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute. I'm not super active these weeks. Not on YouTube, not on Instagram, not on nowhere else. I'm really spending time with my family, with myself, with my girlfriend. I've been on vacation, and we're in the process of my girlfriend moving into my flat. So a lot of slow, time-consuming things are happening right now, but it made me realize one thing, and I was about to do an Instagram story about it, but then I got to realize that it's so important to share this that I just grabbed my camera and here we go. And here's what I want to tell you. So yesterday on a Sunday evening, I decided to announce my Patreon. And Patreon, for all of you who don't know what Patreon is, it's kind of like it's a platform for creative people to share behind the scenes stuff, exclusive content, updates, do live streams, Q&As, having a chat, and really create a community for people who are interested in what the creative person is doing. It's kind of like an OnlyFans for creative people, let's say. And I know a lot of photographers and designers and YouTubers who use it because it's a very, very nice way to really support the people that often are struggling with finances, for example. And it's a platform that enables you to share what you do, and having someone give you a little kickback for €3, €5, €10, I don't know. It's really up to you, but it's a way to support someone, for example, being a photographer, shooting film, or just being a photographer and having to be out there to shoot. You're not an artist, like a painter who can just draw something and be in your apartment the whole time. You really have to be out there to shoot, and it takes a lot of time, a lot of money to just be a photographer, buying a camera, and be out there and having a coffee here and there and having food or shooting film. Film is crazy expensive these days, and so Patreon is just a really nice way to support your favorite creative person, let's say it that way. And I've been a fan of the platform ever since, and I was subscribing to a lot of really nice people. So I thought about just starting it myself. And so as I said, I started it on a Sunday evening, and now it's been 12 hours, which is not that much, but it's 12 hours later. And I have about 40,000 Instagram followers. And guess how many subscriptions I have on Patreon? I have one single subscription. There's only one person over this 40,000 people on Instagram that wants to support me. And I mean, 12 hours is not that much, obviously, but I was like, wow, this is nothing. This is why am I doing this? And so this morning I was looking at it, and it's still one person, and it got me thinking, because the person that subscribed to my Patreon, he's a friend of mine, and he's going through some hard times at the moment because he's in the hospital because of leukemia. And seeing that he's the person who really likes what I do, and he's been supportive the last years, no doubt. But seeing that even in his situation, he wants to support me and he likes what I do, it made me realize something that I was, I think, learning the last weeks when I wasn't that active on all the social media platforms. It made me realize that numbers really don't matter. I mean, we hear it all the time, everyone's saying, yeah, I'm not doing it for the numbers and blah, blah, blah. But every time you post something on Instagram, you want it to go that way. You want it to go nuts. You want a lot of people to like it and to share it and to comment on it. But coming to this very point, with like 40,000 subscribers on Instagram, 40,000 followers on Instagram, and having one only person on Patreon who's paying $5 a month, which is a little more than a cappuccino with oat milk here in Cologne. It made me realize that the numbers really, like, you shouldn't give a shit about numbers. You should only care about yourself and why you are doing it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I would be a lot happier probably if there would be 10 or 50 people or even 100 people at this time. But I think I needed to have this kind of lesson to know that it's not always going that way. Like, I have a lot of followers, I can do whatever I want and everyone's going to like it. This is not how it works. And here's why. Instagram and social media it's constantly changing and evolving, and there's a lot of features coming every few weeks. And if you're not doing what the Instagram algorithms wants you to do, you're ultimately not going that way anymore, because you're more going like that way, and sometimes even that way. And this is what happened to me. Just because I wanted to have more time not being active on Instagram, there's not many people seeing what I do anymore. But here's why this lesson is so important, and here's why I want to share it, because numbers don't matter if you really do what you love, if you really find that passion, that one thing that keeps you going and that keeps you motivated. And guys, here's what I think about photography, or what makes me be a photographer. It's not Instagram, it is not YouTube, it is not the likes. It is because I love doing it. It's because I love the craft. I love spending money on it, even if it's on crazy expensive film or buying a new camera, experimenting with Polaroid, getting a new scanner, getting a new lens. I don't know. I really love doing it. I love the craft. I love being able to share what I see, what I think, and just capture it. And I love it because I can do it for myself. I don't need anyone to see all my photos. I can just take a photo, put it on my laptop, or eventually print it and look at it and be like, that's a nice photo. And no one else has to see it. It's only me. And I had this experience when I was in Rome 2 weeks ago with my girlfriend. We were on vacation and I brought nothing, just a Polaroid, a 35mm camera, and my Super 8. And I shot together we shot about 20 rolls of film, 2 Super 8 rolls, and Polaroid. And all in all, this makes, I would say, 500 euros just to buy the film and get it developed from all the cameras. And I really don't question why I'm doing this, because I know it is really what I love. It is really what makes me wake up in the morning and be like, yeah, like I am motivated just by knowing that I'm able to create all of this, and even if no one else is going to see it. And one thing I've learned is that if you are still driven by numbers, if you're still driven by getting attention, and if your creative process is driven by getting attention from someone else, it is ultimately, and on the long run, it is not going to make you feel fulfilled. And I don't know if I can speak for anyone else, but for me as a creative person, there's nothing which is more fulfilling than being happy with what you create for yourself and what you create. And if someone's going to like it, that's even better, of course. But if your creativity is driven by the desire to get attention, no matter if it's in sales, if it's in numbers, if it's in likes and comments and followers and shares and whatever, it is ultimately going to kill your creativity and your joy for what you do. And this is why I'm super grateful for having this lesson, because even, as I said before, even if you have 40,000, maybe 100,000 followers, sometimes you start here, you start at the very bottom. And you don't go like boom and you have 1,000 subscribers on Patreon. This is not how it works. You don't go that way. You go very, very, very slowly, very slowly. And you know what? This is healthy. It is really, really healthy. We live in that super crazy instant world where you can listen to music from 70 years ago, you can watch your favorite film, you have 10 Tinder dates, you get to order your food, you can have everything just by instant. But there's just some things that you can't have by instant, and this is a super valuable lesson, and this is why I want to share it. Yeah, and I hope that you're gonna take like some value, get some value out of this video. Yeah, and as you may have seen, I've started my Patreon, so if you wanna like join me on this journey, where you start at the very, 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 very bottom and see where it goes, yeah, it would mean the world to me, because every 3 years, every 5 years really helps me to do what I love doing. And if it's doing those videos, I'm also fine with that. Yeah, but on Patreon there's going to be a lot of more stuff than on my YouTube, and for sure more stuff than on my Instagram, because I really like sharing the stuff that I do with people that actually care about it. Yeah, and even if it's just for myself or this one follower on Patreon, it's going to make me so happy. This is what I just realized. Yeah, thanks for taking your time, guys. See you in the next one, and have a good week.